I will emphasize the parents' point of view too, where yes, we have parents who are working in the software field. We have parents who are working in non-software fields. But in both cases, we have found that parents are not interested in using the apps or the other scenarios that are provided from the school, where they feel it difficult when the circulars are coming. It's so big, it's wide. The management is giving a lot of data which we don't want to go through. And when it is given just like fingertips, just like a notification, if the data is going to them, they are very much happy. So they also should be app friendly. Yes, we are all using the smartest computer. We all have our mobile phones with us, but most of us use it for only phone calls and to switch through the social media apps. And most of us don't know uh, most of the important applications that the mobile phone provides us. So when an app is being provided from the school to the parent, there are so many phone calls that comes to the school asking how to utilize the app, despite the parent being a software engineer. So from the parents point of view also, they should be able to understand and utilize the app properly to keep track how efficient their child has become, what is the graph and what is the growth of their child in each particular subject, how much marks he or she has scored in a subject. They don't need to go to school every week, or even for the PTM if they are missing. They don't need to worry about such things if they are having good knowledge with the apps that the school provides. So the teacher's point of view, the parents as well as the students' point of view goes hand in hand. Next comes integration of topics. This is one relevant point that NEP is emphasizing a lot nowadays. Be it science, be it English, be it math, be it social, whatever subject it might be, it should be very much integrated with other subjects. The teacher who is giving a lecture for 40 minutes in a class, despite the class she is taking for, she should be able to integrate her topic with one or more subjects to make sure that the corresponding subject uh, reaches the whole set of children. Some of them will be interested in science, some will be interested in math, and some others will be very much creative, interested in English. But whatever the case might be, the teacher should make sure that the subject that she is teaching is reaching the whole bunch of students. We can divide the children into three sets, where the children are visual learners, auditory learners, and sensory learners. So when the learners are visual learners, we in Restart are always providing videos and attractive animations that make sure that the children are getting attracted to the subject even if they don't like the subject. And auditory learning, of course, happens through the lecture that the teacher gives. And for the sensory learning, the teacher should make sure that n number of activities are included, even when it is computer subject. When it comes to computer subject, we think that, okay, the activities can only be done in the lab. There is no need to make activities to be done in the classroom. All the activities should be lab oriented. No, we can also integrate it with other subjects and make sure that we are doing good activities in computer also. I will give you an example of a student who is not interested in math of grade 4, and who was very much gadget geek, who is very much interested in mobiles and other apps. He has even a knack of using apps in a more efficient way than his parents. And it was a major concern for the parents that he is not understanding the basics of math and not ready to understand or not ready to score marks. Where he was advised where the parent was advised to open an account for the student, for his son, and it was asked to do lot of debit and credit transactions on the particular account, and the app is provided to the boy, and he was asked to monitor. And it was told that when a particular amount is reached, he will be um, gifted a gadget. So he has to go through the account on a daily basis to know what is happening. So initially he was just going through the figures and he was only keen when that figure reaches, he will be getting the gadget. But as days went on, he started doing calculations. When will I reach the particular amount? When the father withdraws money, he got alarmed. When the father added money to the account, he got happy. So he started calculation, and slowly he started scoring marks in math. I'm not telling that he excelled in math or it was a miracle. No, but from an under average student, he became an average student only through the method of integration. So wherever possible, computer is one of the subject that most of the children, even if they are not interested with the theory part, they all have the interest in the gadgets or with apps. And so we can very well integrate computer with other subjects and other subjects with computer. And I will show you some of the examples from the Restart textbook, where we make sure that we integrate the subject with we integrate computer with other subjects. So here this input, output and processing is very well related to the normal household activity, where the below one shows the basic mathematics, where the children are able to relate and understand the importance of input, output and processing technologies. And art integration, there are children who are very well interested in art, and there are children who are interested in math, but they won't be mouse friendly. They will not be that much interested to use mouse in the lab. Ma'am, my pointer is not reaching the proper part. I don't want to draw. I don't want to do. I am not able to draw things properly. But if a presentation is given in front of them where the shapes are used to draw a picture, where the picture comes to colors, where the picture is getting animated, where the picture comes alive, that starts increasing the interest on the child, and the child slowly starts showing interest on the corresponding subject. And when it comes to activities that we do, we have made sure that we are integrating it with English, where we always include some crossword puzzles, so that the creative side as well as the logical reasoning side of the children are also kept intact. And above you can see a slide on which the science subject is being integrated. That is an activity that is given in MS PowerPoint for the child. The child who is interested in science but not showing interest on PowerPoint, or child who has very much interest in PowerPoint, not showing interest in science, is given such kind of topics, definitely will try to correlate and understand things that will help the children to move one step ahead in their academics. Now comes another interesting topic called algorithms and flowcharts. So algorithm is a step-by-step procedure that is to be done before a program is written, where a flowchart is the diagrammatical representation of the same. So as I talked earlier, the step-by-step procedure, when explained, both the auditory and the visual learners are going to get help out of it. Especially the auditory learners are okay with the much explanations where an algorithm is explained with large number of statements. But when it comes to the visual learners, the diagrammatic approach is more important, that they try to understand everything through visuals. So an algorithm or a flowchart before learning program is very relevant. But one scenario that we have noticed is when the programs are being taught to the children, the teachers basically ask the children to write an algorithm from the program that they have done in the lab, or the program that the teacher has written on the board. No, that is not the case. The child should be very much familiar with the algorithm. If he is, even if he is not good at program, that is fine. But algorithm is the basic block. If he knows to write the algorithm, he can be familiar with n number of programming language. But knowing one programming language is not going to help the child, and to reverse it back to algorithm. So this is one of the simplest example of writing an algorithm that is being depicted in the Restart book. So to read two numbers, read number one, number two, and the sum is being taken to the variable sum, and sum is displayed, and the algorithm comes to an end. Even here, we have used the variables num1, num2, and we should be familiar with the word variable. What is a variable? We cannot simply say there are two numbers and the number is added and the result is stored into sum. Yes, that is true. That is how the algorithm is. But still, why it is mentioned as num1 and num2? And what are those variables? So these kind of basic things become familiar to the child once the program is being explained to them. So this is the diagrammatical representation of the same program where the numbers are being added and the result is being displayed. As rectangle with rounded ends is used for starting and stopping, and the processing is done in a pure rectangle box where the input and output comes in the parallelograms. So these kind of basic methods of writing algorithms and flowcharts should reach the children at the age of 9 minimum, so that they will not find it difficult to understand how to write a program. Kindly make sure that we are not teaching it in a reverse method. So this is a little complicated program that the child learns when he goes to higher classes. But if you see the algorithm is written layman friendly. So there are two methods of writing an algorithm. One is a professional approach that remains almost similar to the program. We can call it as a pre-program algorithm, whereas the other algorithm is a layman point of algorithm. So the child should be familiar with the layman point of writing an algorithm. Why? Because when he is going to conduct a seminar in front of public, where there are people who are not familiar with what an algorithm is, but they need to know what the program is meant for. It should reach them only with the method of writing layman point of algorithm. So here, if you read the algorithm itself, you can understand that the first column is going to be set, that is the location 0, and where the smallest element should come. And if there the smallest element is not there, find the smallest element, swap it, and make sure that the first column fills the smallest element, and then move to the second column. So this is the simplest way of writing an algorithm. This is for the selection sort traversal method. I can give you a minute to go through the algorithm. So this is a traversal method where it's the longest traversal method. This, even though the algorithm is learned in the higher classes, this is supposed to be the simplest algorithm. This algorithm is, before writing the program, the selection sort algorithm itself is considered to be the most important kind of algorithms. Now comes the professional approach of writing the algorithm. So if I'm going to explain an algorithm to someone who is not familiar with the computer terms or not familiar with the programming language, is not certainly going to understand what I have written in this algorithm. That's why I mentioned that the layman point of writing algorithm should be taught to the children from the basic level, so that the child will be having the knack of writing both kind of algorithm without much hiccups. We have made sure in Restart here that we have given a set of simple algorithms like how to go to school, how will you make tea, how to dress up properly. These kind of simple algorithms with a set of instructions the child is being asked to do as activities, so that we make sure the child understands the simplest way of writing algorithms. Now comes programming language and coding. So what is a program? Program is nothing but a set of instructions arranged in a particular manner. So we know what are the set of instructions, that are algorithms. When the algorithms are arranged in a particular manner, that becomes a program. That is the most simple definition that I can give for a program. So why programming language is important, and why coding should be introduced to the children, and what is the relevance of it? When we talk about languages, yes, I'm communicating to you with the language that you and I can understand. Where even if I make a simple grammar mistake or a silly grammar mistake, or if I don't frame a sentence properly, but you will be able to make out what I have told because you and I are familiar with the language that we are talking. And moreover, we have the sixth sense and we are able to frame the sentence. Even if I'm going to miss certain words in between, you understand that what I'm trying to say. But that is not the case with the computer. Computer is a machine that understands only two numbers, 0 and 1, nothing more than that. So when I talk in English, yes, we know we have to follow the syntax, we have to follow the semantics. That means the basic structure, basic grammar of the corresponding language, be it English, be it Malayalam, be it Hindi or Tamil, whichever language it is, you have to follow the basic structure of the corresponding language that we talk. In the same way, each programming language has its own syntax and semantics. That means the structure of the corresponding program, the codes that you have to use, that you are not supposed to deviate from the code. You have to follow the same codes. You have a library, you have a vocabulary. You can say that as a vocabulary of the particular programming language. You are not supposed to use any single statement that is out of the code that is mentioned for the corresponding programming language. If you do such things, what you get is called error or a bug. Because as I said, computer doesn't have the sixth sense. If you give perfect data, it will give you perfect results. If you are giving imperfect data, it is of course going to give you the imperfect result. That's where coding becomes important and relevant, that it should be learned properly. I know almost of it is not going to work. I know it only works with programming languages. And when we introduce programming language to children, the ideal age of introducing programming language to the children is 9 or 10. Not less than that ideally. Yes, we have children who starts learning White Hat Express Junior kind of programs in such an early age, and some of them excel. But the research says the ideal age is 9 or 10. Why? Because the children's logical as well as computational and aptitude thinking starts increasing rapidly at this age, and they can cognize things easily and they will not find it difficult to understand what the program says. And we have in Restart introduced the Scratch language programming in grade 5 textbook as basics, and the children learn the animated versions of the same in grade 6. So when it comes to the Scratch language programming, this is one of the finest and the most interesting programming language that you can introduce to anyone, be it a child or be it an adult. If he is a non-programmer, if he doesn't know computer, he or she is going to feel definitely interested to do the Scratch programming language. Why? Because Scratch programming language doesn't ask you to write any codes. All the codes are pre-filled and kept in the program palette. Here, it's just like building a Lego toy. The wiser you use the Lego toys, the better your structure is going to be. In the same way, you have in Scratch programming language the approach of using the program blocks one by one, dragging it and making it into a structure so that your sprite moves. Having said that, we have 4 important parts in a Scratch language programming. First one is sprite. The place where sprite stands is called stage. Here, the famous sprite, uh, the default sprite that is used in a Scratch programming language is a cat, and the cat is very familiar irrespective of the age. I think everybody knows about the sprite, and you have a programming palette to work with. And then the fourth one is the script area, where your script is being dragged and dropped. In Restart, we have started the Scratch programming language with one simple picture and a question, that if a child is asked to go to a staff room or to a particular room to take a book, how he makes sure that he's going through the right directions to fetch the book and come back. In the same way, it is used in Scratch programming language where the directions are given importance, the blocks are being aligned one over the other, and so that after the first step, the second step happens, after the second, the third, and the final one as required. So the simple program, the simplest program that we write, irrespective of the programming language, is the hello program. And that is also mentioned in the restart book. It's done from the dialog box, that is from the programming. There is a programming palette from where you have a set of events. From the events, you have the option say. The option itself is there, say hello. You have to just drag and drop the say hello option to your script area. And if you see, there is a green color flag on the right end of the screen. And what we are going to do when the event is clicked, that means when the flag is clicked, the sprite has to say hello. So this is one of the simplest program that reaches the child, and you have an option to say meow. So when it gets animated, of course, the children are going to get attracted to it. So here I have written a program with two sprites, of which the background, how it looks on the front stage, will be shown on the next picture. Here you could see that you have to wait for 3 seconds and show. Show means you are going to show the cat sprite, and glide seconds to X 100 and Y 120. Why I am mentioning this here, why I am explaining the program is you have X and Y axis to be taught. Again, it is math integrated. And we have made sure that, as I said, why the programming language is introduced in a later stage, not in an early stage. When you are going to talk about the X and Y axis to a grade 3 child, he will not understand it completely, because the X and Y axis or the graph is, the children are going to learn about graph only on the later portions of grade 4 or on the earlier portion of grade 5. Even if it is ICSE, we have seen that the children feel it a bit difficult to understand the X, Y, and Z axis where the action takes place. So once the children are familiar with those, then when you explain the glide means slow, soft movement from x-axis to y-axis, 100, 120, and change the x-axis and go back to x. So this looks a bit tough for some non-programmers, I agree, but this is the simplest program that can be written, and children don't find it difficult. Trust me, when we start teaching this kind of programs, children do much better than us. And you could see a second sprite. You can add as many sprites as you want. That is not a big deal. You have to just right click, go to the gallery, and add the sprite you want. When the flag is clicked, show, wait for 6 seconds. I will show you how the picture looks like. This is the famous cat and the coins. This is the flying cat that jumps and takes the coin and moves. So we have written the program. You would have seen how many steps I have taken for that. Not more than 4 and not more than 3 for the second sprite. The second sprite, what I mentioned here is a coin. The first sprite that I mentioned here is a cat. So when I do the program with these kind of symbol steps, the cat is going to take the coin. You could see the animated portion also. So that is how I would say Scratch language programming has become important. And in Restart, we have explained the Scratch programming animation with 2 beautiful bats. And one more thing that I have to mention here is more than the programming language, more than the programming code, there are children who are interested in making dramas, making creative conversations, where they find the Scratch stage as very much easy to make such kind of character conversations. And when you are going to do character conversations, the codings of the blocks that you're going to drag and drop is going to be rather less and rather easy, that without with least guidance, the children are able to perform in the Scratch programming language. Thanks to Restart for introducing Scratch in grade 5. Next comes Python. Python is one of the programming language that doesn't need any introduction nowadays. I would tell you before 2 years, at the time of pandemic, I could say that there was a high demand for this soft skill. Those who knows Python were hired with high packages because we were not in the market. Those who know Python, the resources with Python knowledge were much less, and there was a big demand of knowing Python. But now we have introduced, the CBSE itself has introduced Python in grade 11 curriculum. That's why Restart had made it sure that children are knowing Python basics from grade 7, so that when they move to the higher classes, there will not be any hiccup in understanding Python. And when I talked about Scratch programming language, I told that it is a visual programming language. Yes, as you saw the pictures, I was just dragging and dropping it into a center stage, and the performance was done. But with Python, Python is a script oriented language. Here, almost all the English statements that you use is used in Python, and it is an open source platform language. What do I mean by an open source platform language? That is one of the major advantages of Python, that Python is not a paid version. If you want to use Python, you can download and use it, or you have an online editor also where you are able to use Python. So I don't know anything about computer, but I want to learn a programming language. Yes, you are welcome. You have a lot of opportunities to learn Python, and a child who knows Python, trust my words, that he will not be jobless when he completes his education if he has a good know-how in Python. That's how the world is moving, because as I emphasize this, the world is moving towards an AI world, a machine learning world, where we use Python as a prominent one for the AI related things. I would explain what AI is in the upcoming slides, but that is how the artificial intelligence, as I said, AI is related to Python. So Python is important, and it should be learned in smaller classes. That means from the middle school, it is very much important for the children to learn Python. And this being the script oriented language, the only thing that you have to take care while writing Python is indentation, nothing else. So these are some of the most important features of Python that you see. As I already explained about the open source platform, and it has a large library. If those who are here who knows C or CPP, which are the evergreen languages, and when we compare to Python itself, you know the advantage of writing a program in Python, where you are not supposed to write the default hash include iostream.h or conio.h, where the libraries have to be written first, then only you can start your program. No, you have start the program by calling function directly in Python. That makes Python easy with similar number of steps. Yes, CPP is a professional language, it's a evergreen language, and that is a language still used with AIs, but Python is the one that has somehow outpassed CPP and is being used more in, I would say, if it is RuPay or if it is Flipkart or Amazon, they are all using Python for their AIs. So these are the features of Python. Next comes a simple program that is written on the Python programming language. You can see this is the program is for finding the square as well as the cube of a number. This program is also being taken from the Restart textbook. Here, you could see the program is written just in 4 lines. So we had early C and CPP in the textbooks for higher classes. There are textbooks that still have CPP in their curriculum, where we are going with Python only for the reason that the number of lines that you are going to learn for making the program is rather less. So it is less time consuming, it is easy to understand, and you can write the program in a simpler way. Here I have written the program in 4 lines, where it is, you might be knowing that I can write the same program in 3 lines, where square is equal to number into number I have written. Instead of that, if I give number into number directly, it's going to get printed. So even in 3 line, I can find the square and cube of a number. But the same program, when I write in C or CPP, trust me, you cannot write the program without using at least 12 or 13 lines. So if you are going to be a computer learner, or if you are going to teach computer, make sure that you are teaching Python before teaching C or CPP. Now comes the database management system. Yes, what is a database? Be it any institution, without data, the institution is not going to run. Whatever it is, considering the case of a school, for taking attendance, for maintaining the student register, or for maintaining the transport, or to know the total strength of the children who have taken TCs, for everything you need a database. So how important and how relevant it is for keeping a database organized matters a lot. Here in Restart, we have explained it with one of the in one of the finest way, that a question is being asked to the children in the first page, where just consider that you are submitting your book to the teacher, and the teacher is taking in 5 sections. Your books are not labeled, and all the 5 section children are just coming and keeping the books on the table and reading. And out of that, the teacher has to find a particular book. How it will be? How much time it will take for the teacher to find the particular book and correct and give it to the children? And consider the same way in which each section comes with the books organized, and it is being set on the table in the proper way, and how much time that takes for the teacher to correct the book. And the third question is, consider that the books are arranged in the roll number wise, and it is organized in a proper way, and then it is kept on the table, and then when the teacher is asked to correct a particular book, how much time the teacher takes for? Yes, the answer is the third one is going to be much easy. So that says how much important it is for us to know about the database and how to organize the database in a proper manner. When I talk about database and database management system, we know in schools we use only Excel, and almost in all the minor institutions, they go with Excel for maintaining the database. They are not going to use any other database softwares for maintaining data. Yes, Excel is the right one that is being used for maintaining the database. But why do we need other databases when it comes for database management? One answer is, when the institution becomes big, the Excel sheet will not be giving you easiest answer. Yes, Excel can handle vast data than any other software, but to access data from Excel is not that. Yes, we have formulas, we have macros in Excel, and those who are very much proficient in Excel will not even agree with me to the fact that Excel is not going to be excellent when it comes to access of database. But that is the fact that's why we are going with SQL or other kind of database access when it goes to the larger kind of institutions. But here in the NEP aligned curriculum, they have given importance to MS Access, and we in Restart are also including MS Access. And there was a question that was coming from the school side that MS Access is not used anywhere. We are not seeing MS Access anywhere. Even in the office.com online site, with the number of softwares that Microsoft has provided, you are not able to see MS Access. And why the textbook, why the publisher is including MS Access as a database? Why not SQL or some other database? The answer is simple. The first major answer to be told here is Microsoft itself has told. Microsoft has not taken out MS Access from its number of softwares provided. It is MS Access is given as a flagship. It comes with the business apps that is being given. And the other thing, it was told that Microsoft is going to roll off MS Access, is not going to use it anymore. No, it is wrong. From the 2019 version, you are going to get the upgraded version till 2025. And in 2025, MS Access is going to be continued, because there are n number of companies who are still using Microsoft Access as their backend database. Having said that, we will always talk about bigger institutions like Amazon or Flipkart or Google, where they don't talk about MS Access. But that is not the case, where we have n number of startup companies which cannot afford these kind of things, which still relies on MS Access for their database. So database management is important, as I said. And this is how the database is being related. Even when you are doing a banking transaction, you don't know how it is, how your account is. You are not, you just go through the data is on your fingertips. Just one click, your amount is going from one account to another account through Google Pay. So how much work happens, how do the gateway works, how the database is connected with the application interfaces, as well as the gateways are not known to us, and nobody is bothered about it, as we don't need to know it. Once we click, the transaction happens. But as I said, database management is important. So these are some of the important characteristics of using database, be it in a smaller institution or be it in a bigger institution. Without having an organized database, it is not possible to run an organization. Having said that, earlier in schools, we used to maintain manual data, manual register. Yes, still we maintain attendance register as manual. But other than that, we are not relying for anything on the manual registers. We are only relying on the softwares, and we are only relying on the systems to fetch the data, because it is first and major thing is it's time saving, and the second thing is it is going to be more accurate. And if for example, if a child is allocated in two sections, you have to take two registers, you have to go through the two registers, you have to find, you don't know if you have 10 or 15 sections, you don't know in which other section the child is allocated, why there is a duplication, why when the strength is only showing as 1000, we have 1001 children. So who is the child who is being replicated in another class? It's not easy to find such things through the manual registers, where you have a symbol we look up in Excel to do this database in an easy way. I hope you have gone through the characteristics of database management system. So this is what I explained from the textbook, where the teacher finds it really difficult to find a particular notebook and correct it to and give it on a particular timeline. And when it is given to the teacher organized and more organized and even more organized, that makes teacher's job easy. Not only the teacher's job, when the teacher is giving the books back to the children, even for distribution, if it is done in the same way, it's going to be quite a lot time saving. Yeah. Giving you a minute to go through it. So this is where I told, like, we are using Excel sheets. Yes, Excel sheets are efficient. The spreadsheets which are used online and have a lot of formulas and micros on it. But when compared to it, why Access stands out matters, and I will come to that. So these are some of the major points that I would discuss with you, where MS Access is very easy to use. When the child is asked to fill a registration form, in many of the schools nowadays, you don't have a normal hard copy where you fill the registration form. Yes, some of the schools still uses the same, but with some high-end schools, they are not using the hard copy method and then collecting the data and then entering it into the soft copy. They directly enter into the soft copy. You would have seen the same when you go to hospitals, where there will be two screens, one in front of the front desk person and one in front of you, where you will be asked to uh, enter the data, and the data will be highlighted on the other end of the screen, and it is getting saved. So you see only the front end here. The front end that you see here is where you type your name, your phone number, the other details that the corresponding institution asks you for, and how it is getting saved and how it is connected to the database matters. So when the next time when you go to the school, in the fingertip, the answer is there for, for example, I'm telling that my child is in so and so grade. Yes, your child has got these many books. These books are not got, or your child has scored this much marks, and she or he has not written the particular exam. All the things, even from the front desk, even without looking, without seeing the teacher, you might be able to get the details only because of the database. Here comes the importance of Microsoft Access. As I said, Microsoft Access acts as a back-end database. And in the front end, as I said, you will be just typing and entering the data. That will be a nice framework where you will be entering the data. You will be seeing your name, a column next to it, where you will be entering the data. That is not the way it is actually saved. It is saved in the way that, as I said, the computer understands, and it's being saved to the Access. And Access has a backstage view that let you see how it works. That means while I'm working with database in Access, I'm able to access data that is already being stored. That is not possible with SQL. SQL is a bigger coding language where you have other advantages. Yes, you can access data, but through the proper coding. Here in Access, you have to just drag and drop the data that you have saved. Just you have to open it and you can add it into the backstage, from the backstage to the stage where you are working with. So MS Access stands important where it comes to the smaller institutions where they feel it easy to work with the data. And the child should know MS Access as it is the basics of database management system, where they learn about what a primary key is, what a secondary key is, what is the importance of primary key. When I talk about primary key, that is usually a roll number in a school scenario. That means there are two children with the same name. And how will I find that, and maybe with the same initial, and how will I find that which child I am referring to? That is the purpose of giving roll number. So with setting the roll number as a primary key, and then comparing it with the other attributes, when it is aligned to the other attributes with the primary key, from there the child's all the details of the child is being provided to the parent by easy method, by accessing using the MS Access and any other front-end programming language that we use. When Microsoft Access was introduced at that time, the most famous front-end programming language that was used was VB. VB 6.0, that is actually rolled off, which no one use, and it has moved to VB.NET Frame now. But that was the most familiar and friendly programming language combinations that was used, and children were very much interested in those days. You can go through the points. And the other thing with MS Access is for using web applications. The web apps, there are simple websites that helps the children to make simplest web apps without knowing much about coding, or you don't need to know about PHP or other programming languages when it comes for making web apps. For making web apps also, if you have an MS Access backend, it is going to support you a lot in fetching the database with minimal effort. Next comes one of the finest and interesting topic that can be discussed, and that is the artificial intelligence. With this topic, I will be completing all the set of topics that are supposed to discuss. And artificial intelligence is the term that everyone knows is coined by John McCarthy. And what is artificial intelligence? As the term says, the intelligence that is being artificially induced is supposed to be artificial intelligence. So who has artificial intelligence? No, humans do. It's mission. Humans are blessed and we have our own acquired intelligence. We are not artificially intelligent. We are intelligent by birth and we are improving our intelligence only. Whereas machines don't have any intelligence and their intelligence is being injected or induced to them. And what is the purpose of making a machine intelligent? Yes, a machine, as I said, especially when it comes to computer or any kind of gadgets, the advantage of making a machine intelligent is machine is super smart when compared to human. Machine can do the work more accurate. There is no data redundancy. And the most important thing is the machine is not going to get tired. Even if I'm going to talk for 2 hours, the machine, if a machine is sitting in front of me, which is having artificial intelligence, is going to know and going to save all those things that I have explained. But that is not the case with human beings. If you or I are going to talk endlessly, after 1 and 1.5 hours, you're definitely going to lose the interest on the topics, irrespective of how the topic is being taught. That's how human brain is being tuned. That is not our mistake. And but when it comes to machine is not like that. Machine is ready to accept whatever data you give, whether you are giving a right data or wrong data. Poor machine, it doesn't know. It accepts everything. But when you make it artificially intelligent, then it starts telling you that no, the data you have given me is wrong. Please provide me the right data. So why do we need to make a machine artificially intelligent? I will tell you a simple example that you are a teacher, you have to go and join your school at 9 o'clock in the morning. So you have to wake up by 6 o'clock. You will set an alarm and you wake up at 6 o'clock. You complete your households and you have to get ready. And yes, you have some smart machines. I will talk about that, just like Google, Cortana, or Alexa, or even your smart watch, where you will be keeping a number of reminders that reminds you have to take this while getting out of the home. You have to take your medicines or you have to take the corresponding chart that you are going to explain today. You would have kept a number of reminders in your mobile phone itself. That's how you go out getting ready to school. But consider a scenario that at 7 o'clock when you're waking up, you are getting a message on your mobile that it's 7 o'clock. You have got up 1 hour late, but don't worry. Your toaster is being switched on for you, and the bread slices are put inside it, and your geyser is already switched on. You can go and take a warm bath. And once you come out of your bathroom after your warm bath, and as you open your cupboard, um, you see a draw popping out saying that today is Saturday and you are supposed to wear formal wear. You can take from that. And the message comes on your watch and the draw pops out. So you have to just take the dress and wear it. And as you go to your kitchen, your kettle is already on and the bread toast is ready for you. And once you take your bread toast, other message comes. The coffee is super hot with this much degree. If you want to cool it, please let me know. And once you take the coffee and you are ready, in the watch or in the phone itself, you are getting this is the chart for your today. And we all use GPS to go out. We know which is the right way. We use the GPS in the mobile or in the car system itself to move to the place. But without looking at the GPS itself, the car itself is deciding that this is the shortest route, and you have to reach your school by 8:45 a.m. Everything is set that you don't want to think of anything that you have to do till you go to your school. Only thing that you are going to do is the social mingling and taking class with the children. All other things are taken care by AI. So that is the simplest method in which I could explain AI. I'm not joking. There are places where AI is used in the way that I have explained to you. When you go to foreign countries, you can see places where AI is being used in the exact way and more than what I have told, even in the current era. So that is going to become much more efficient in coming days. We know about the robots that clean the floor. We know about Google or Alexa to which we talk. And yes, we get some silly answers, some senseless answers from these kind of AIs. This kind of AIs comes under natural language processing, that is NLP. And why we get this kind of silly answers is still we are teaching them. These NLPs are still on a learning mechanism. That's why when the upgraded version comes to the market, the gadget geeks are running to buy it, because it is going to be certainly better than the previous version. It is not going to be like a watch, the normal analog watch that you buy from the market. When you feel like, okay, I will go and get another watch, okay, that is also going to show you time. There is nothing going to be different between these two. But that is not the case with the NLP oriented, AI oriented machines. When each version comes, it is going to show much different. It is going to be much human friendly, and it shows working in a better way. So AI is very important, and AI is included as a major chapter in Restart. And for grade 10 in CBSE, they have AI as a major chapter. They have an elective where they can take and write computer as a major exam, where AI and AI's projects are also there, where they can score better marks. And one of the most important thing with AI is not a programming oriented approach that we learn in higher classes. That is a theoretical oriented approach with which we do projects that are very much related to gaming. AI has three domains, as I said: data, computer vision, and NLP are the three major domains of AI. And NLP comes under the, as I said, Google, Alexa, or other smart machines that really helps you in day-to-day life. Everybody around us are using AI, and some of us are aware that we are using AI, and some of us are not aware, and we are thinking AI is something Greek or French that we don't know. But from the smartwatch, even the goggles that some of us wear, or the, as I said, the simple one, the Siri in iPad, or the Cortana in Google, I mean, Cortana in Microsoft, are simpler examples of artificial intelligence. And artificial intelligence is going to be the successful thing, and that is going to outpass. We don't know. Sometimes we are also training artificial intelligent induced machines to become emotionally intelligent. When the emotional training is also given to them, you would have seen the movie um, Yendiran, that has come a few years back. But at that time, it was just created. It was a manipulated kind of one, but that is not the case. That real one is possible. You have seen Sophia robot, who was able to talk properly, who had emotions. But yes, it was to an extent. After that, after the set of questions that is fed to Sophia is over, Sophia might not be able to answer sensibly. But we are working on it. The whole AI teams are working on it all over the world to make AI better. That you don't know, like you will be daily waking up and talking to an AI machine and doing your job parallelly. And one of the most important thing with AI is the AI induced machines have become a bliss for many people who work in dangerous places, be it to the soldiers or be it to the people who work under mines, where it was very much risky. They risk their lives for us, even though they are paid less and they work more, and to keep our country safe, to give the country the required resources and minerals. They work under risk, and there are many cases where they have lost their lives also. Now, on those fields, we have the AI induced machines that work better, and there's no risk of human life here. Even the machine gets shattered. After all, we know, even if it is emotionally indulgent, we know it is a machine. It doesn't have life. So there is nothing to care about it much, other than the financial case that we have to care for. So yes, that is the case where AI is important. When an emotionally intelligent and an AI with better IQ is coming, one AI can replace 10 or 20 human beings who are doing the work. Yes, that is a threat for human job. And there is a threat when the AI surpasses the human emotions and intelligence. You don't know what happened. But we humans are creating the artificial intelligent equipments, so we know how to handle that situation also. We have handled pandemic. What else we could not handle? We can handle everything. So that is the importance of artificial intelligence, and artificial intelligence has become an inevitable part. How the smartphone has become an inevitable part. Why the smartphone is also because of AI induced it. One simple example that I could tell you is when the mails come to you, you would have been seeing that these are the spams. How who is telling that this is spam? Is someone sitting and going through the whole database to find this is spam, this is not spam? No, this works through the pattern recognition algorithm, again through the AI machines. It identifies from the pattern that this is spam. That's how somehow we miss some phone calls, some important phone calls, because our mobile phone displays doubtfully spam. When it comes, we will not pick the call. When the call comes from another number, then we will come to know that we have missed it because of since it displayed spam, we have missed it. So that kind of rare cases are also there. Since it works with pattern recognition, it takes time for the machine also to understand that which pattern is going to be right. And when you go to the shopping sites like Mindra or Amazon, where you are buying dresses or gadgets, since you bought this, you might be liking this. Or when you are going to browse through some other sites, then as they add the same dress that you have tried to purchase, but you just flipped out of it, will be displayed on that particular site. Is also working under AI. No person, no single person is sitting and watching you that you are doing this, and so this should be popped out. That is not feasible. So you could know, like you will be really alarmed. How come this knows? Like when some message pops in the notification that you might be interested in this session, you will be thinking that I have not even registered this, but you would have gone through some sites, you would have gone through some links continuously in your system, that the system has identified that this person is very much interested in this, that he or she has to get the mail or link of the particular thing. That's how the marketing works nowadays. The simpler, older methods of marketing is not going to work. Everything, everywhere, AI has become important. So with this topic, I am winding up my session. Thanks a lot. I feel that I have at least enlightened a little. I have tickled your brains a little, and I have tried my best to give the knowledge that I could share with you.
Teachers, if you have any doubts, if you want to clear something with ma'am, you can ask her. You can raise your hand and accordingly I'll be unmuting you. Miss Sujata, you wanted to ask something, please speak. Sujata, we can't hear you. She has message saying that I'm speaking.
The chat option is there. They can drop the message also.
Yeah, you can also put a message. Anyone?
Please feel free to ask questions. I will answer the questions based on my knowledge on the corresponding topic. I love to interact with you, and I feel thankful for being around.
Okay, the question Sujata has is how to download Scratch and Python language.
Yeah, that's a very nice question, and both are open source platforms, ma'am. So you have to just go to Google, search in Google search engine Scratch. The advanced version of Scratch is available. I think it's Scratch 6.0 if I'm not wrong. Sorry if I'm not updated. And you can directly download it. Scratch for Windows. There are two options like Scratch for Mac and Scratch for Windows. If you click on the Scratch for Windows option, Scratch will get downloaded, and it is one of the software that works without any hiccups. And the second one is Python. As I said, Python is also an open source platform one. You have to search Python idle programming language, IDLE, interactive development language program it is. So when you click on this Python idle programming language, there also Python 3.0 is the version that is commonly used, but you have the upgraded versions also. Python as well as for Scratch, you need your graphics in Windows a bit better. For Python, you don't need much graphic support also. Python works with any of the system with basic requirements. That is not a big deal. And if you want, I can share the links with you in the chat box later. And for Python, you have an online editor also, Python online editor, where you can directly do the programs even without download.
Okay, she has asked you to share it now. Yeah. Anyone else? Okay, she's asked 10. Like, is it possible to download it in Windows 10?
Of course, it is possible. I have been using Windows 10 now only it is updated to Windows 11. My own system was working very well with Python and Scratch.
Okay. Anybody else? No more, I guess. Okay, then I hope everybody has got a good understanding of how everything is incorporated in Restart. Now, let me just take you through the digital school resources that we provide along with the textbooks. Okay. So let me just share my screen. Okay. Now, this is the website of Password. I hope you can see the screen. Now, when you go to the website, when you scroll down, you will see the services that we provide here at the side. On the left side of the screen, you'll see various links for digital school resources, question paper generator, then the books, then the kindergarten section, animations, worksheets, flashcards, workshops, order form for the question papers, then question papers. Now, let me just show you how digital school resources work. Once you click on this, you'll be taken to a new page, and there you have to log in. If you see here on the right side top of the screen, you have to log in. Now, when you click on login, you will be receiving your school ID and password with which you can log into this. Once you log into this, you will be taken to this page, not this page exactly. Let me just show you. So once we click on this, I'm just signing it with my credentials. Now, since it is my office ID, I'll have access to all the books that we have. But for you guys, your school will have access to the books that you have ordered. Okay. Now, once you go down, scroll down, you will see the books. Now, see, you have here the different books of Restart, right? From class 1 to class 8. Now, I'll just show you how it works. Let me click on class 2. Now, once you click on this, you will get a new page with the book's name on it. You click on open. And then the home page opens. Now, if you see here on the left side, you can see the names of the different chapters in that particular book. Now, this is class 2 book, and the chapters in here are the computer, uses of computer, parts of a computer, more about keyboard, the mouse, monitor, MS Paint, WordPad, and calculator. So these are the chapters. And on the right side, you'll see 4 different handles. One is for the ebook, which is the whole textbook in an e-version. Okay. Then you have the teacher's handbook, which has all the explanations and the answers to the questions in the exercises. Then you have the extra additional worksheets that we provide, and there are lesson demo videos. Now, let me just show you a sample of the lesson demo videos. Now, in this, we have 2 lessons. One is computer as a magic machine, and the other is uses of computers. Let me just click on one. We'll see how it works.
Class 2, Chapter 1, The Computer. Computer is a smart machine. It is also very useful. Nowadays, it is used everywhere, such as shops, offices, hospitals, banks, schools, homes, etc. It runs on electricity. Computers have become an important part of our life. Features of a computer. A computer works very fast. It works continuously. It never makes mistakes. It can do many tasks at the same time. Computer versus human being. Computer works very fast. Time. Human beings works slower than a computer. Accuracy. Computer does not make any mistake. Human being can make mistakes. Memory. Computer can remember many things and never forget them. Human being can remember many things and may even forget them after some time. Work progress. Computer never get tired. Human being get tired after some time. Creativity. Computer cannot create any new ideas. Human being can create new ideas.
Okay, like this, the class goes on. Now, let me go back to the home page. Now, once you click on the chapters, there are activities related to that chapter and also the ebooks. Ebooks are the pages of that particular chapter. Now, I've taken the chapter uses of computer. If I click on ebooks, you will see the pages of the textbook. Okay. Now, once you go back, and then let's look at the activity that is shared here. Now here, the children are asked to, now if you have an interactive board in your classroom, you can use this in your classroom for assessment, for interactive activities also. Okay, now in this, the question is, and dash is used to withdraw money. Now, if I suppose the children says a phone is used to withdraw money. Let me click on the answer phone, and then let me click check. The answer is wrong, so it is shown as it is wrong. So I now try again. And then I click on the answer as ATM. And then I check. It is shown in green, which shows that it is correct. Now, suppose the children say the answer as phone or none of these, which are both wrong. Now, in case you don't know the answer, you can also click on the solution here. Once you click on the correct answer will be shown. So interactive activities like this are there for all the classes, all the chapters. Okay, so that's regarding this. You have the ebook, handbook, worksheets, and demo videos. Now, let me take you to another aspect of our digital school resources. We provide a question paper generator. Now, question paper soft copies are already available from our site. If you want question papers, you can order it through your school and it will be given to you as soft copies. You can take printouts of the same and then use it as a proper question paper. Now, in case you want to prepare a question paper with the questions that are there in our textbooks, what you can do is you can click on this question paper generator. Now, once you click on that, again, you will have to log in with your credentials. Okay. Now here I'll be using mine. You will be using yours, which will be a different one. So let's sign in and see what happens. Now you will see that there are two options, add questions and the question paper generator. Let me click on the question paper generator. Now see, let me click on a new one since I've already used this. It's shown as that. Okay. Now the question paper generator, when you click on this, this is what comes on the screen. Now you have the exam type here, the subject, class, chapters. Okay. Now I'm going to click on the exam type. There are different examinations, annual examination, class test 1, class test 2, class test 3, class test 4, 5. Then the first semester examination, if your school is following a semester pattern, that is you have only 2 exams in a year, you can use this. Or if your school is following the term pattern, you will have 3 terms in an academic year. So you can use this one, first terminal, second terminal, or the third terminal. Okay. Now let me just click on the first terminal examination option. Okay. Now I'm going to click on the subject. The subject is computer restart. We have other books also. So the books, the drop down will be shown according to the books that your school has opted in for. And then you click on this. And then you click on the class. LKG, UKG, class 1, class 2, class 3, whichever classes. Let us go in for class 2. Let's see what comes. Now you need to click on the chapters. Which chapters do you need for your examinations? All the chapters will be shown here, but you need to click on the chapters that will come for the first terminal examination. So let us suppose that since there are a total of, you have the scheme of work also available from our side. If you're opting in for question papers that are already made from the side. Okay. If not, you can choose the chapters that you want to be included in your question paper. Now I'm going to include chapter 1. Then again, click on the same chapter 2, then chapter 3, then chapter 4. Okay, I'm just going to go with only 4 chapters. And then you click on the generate option. Okay. Now, once you click on the generate option, you get the questions of all these 4 chapters here. Okay. And it is not just in the name of the chapter that you get, you also get the title of the questions. Now, the question here is choose the correct option. Okay, so I need this question. For that, I want a question from chapter 1. I'm going to take this. Then I want another question from chapter 2. Okay, then I want another question from chapter 3. And a question from chapter 4. Okay, so I have chosen 4 questions. Now I want the marks to be 2 for each. Okay, so 4 questions of 2 marks. So 8 marks. Then let's go in for this is the next type of question, right? True or false. I choose a question from chapter 1. Then there is another question from chapter 2. Okay, chapter 3 and chapter 4 doesn't have true or false questions, so it is not shown here. So here I have 2 questions and I'm going to put 1 mark for each question. Okay. Then I have answered the following questions, kind of questions. Of that, I'm going to take 1 question from chapter 1, another question from chapter 1. Then I'm going to take a question from chapter 3. I'm going to take a question from chapter 4. Okay, another question from chapter 4. Okay, I'm just choosing randomly. Then another question type is fill in the blanks. Okay, for this, I didn't enter the marks. How many questions are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So I'm going to go with 2 marks for each. Let's see. Okay, so like this, there are various kinds of questions. You can go in for, you can opt in as much as you want, but please make sure that you keep a count of the marks. Then there is also another option here, the question order. So if you give in the order in this, you will get the questions, the main questions in that particular order. For example, if I want this to be question order 1, okay, then I want this to be question order 3, and I want this to be question order 2. So first, my question paper will have choose the correct option. Then it will be answer the following questions. And then I want the question write true or false to come over. Now let's see the preview of what we have chosen till now. Okay. Let's see. Now here you are about to be redirected to print. So see, I'm just showing you this as a part of the demo. So I've not chosen all the questions that are needed for the question paper as such. So my question paper will not be a proper question paper with the total marks complete in it. But in your case, when you make the question paper, make sure that you make the question paper according to the marks, total marks that you want for the paper. For example, if you want a 40-mark paper, make sure that you have 40 marks of questions in it. Okay. Now here, total time for the examination, you can add in this. It is optional also. If you don't want, you need not. Now I'm going to click on the option preview. Let's see. Now see, this is how you get the question paper. The class is shown, class 2, then the date, name, all those are left blank for the children to enter. Since the class is already shown here, the division is asked here. Then the marks are given. Now, since I chose 8 plus 2 plus 10. So my question paper is out of 20 marks. And the time I've given is 1 hour. So all that comes in automatically. Now in this, since we are going to this, you can also edit this. I'll show you how to do that. Now in this, it automatically comes with our name on the top. That is Password Publishing House. Then the first terminal examination. The subject also is shown. Okay. Now you can see the questions here. I chose 4 questions. All the questions have come in automatically. Then I wanted, see, I showed you that the order of the question can be chosen. Now see, question number 1, I wanted it to be choose the correct option. Now question number 2, I wanted it to be answer the following questions. So it came in as such. Then question number 3 was write true or false. Okay. Now once you get this, what you can do is you can click on print if you are final with this, or if you want to make any corrections, you need to click on back, which will take you to the previous page where you will have to enter all the questions again. Okay. Now I'm going to click on print and I get an option here. I get to save it as PDF, or I have other options also. Okay. Now once I'm going to save it as a PDF and then I'm going to save. Now this gets automatically, okay, I'm not going to save it now here. You can see that it gets saved. And then if you want, you can do the editing on the question paper. Okay. So that's how it works. Okay, let me cancel this. So I hope you are clear with this. Yes. So that is regarding the question paper generator. So you can generate question papers of your own based on the questions given in the textbook. Then we have other resources also which you can use as you want. Okay. So that's it regarding the test generator and the digital school resources. So I guess you have a good idea of things now. Okay, so is it clear for everyone? Okay, I see some questions here, whether the teacher's handbook and answer key for class 1 to 8 textbooks are available. Yes, it is definitely available. We have the teacher's handbook, which gives you some idea on how to go around with each topic. And also gives you the answers to the questions. Okay. Okay, so that's it. Thank you everyone for joining with us and spending your time with us. Thank you so much. Okay. Okay, so for any further clarifications, you can contact your respective school sales executives who keep in touch with you for giving you the books and other things. Okay, so thank you everyone. Let's end this session here. Thank you so much for joining us. And thank you, Sharanya ma'am, once again. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay then.